together to welcome Shabbat. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is to be together on this day. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Let's do that again. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. 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 Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Welcome those who are here, those who are with us online. We're very happy to have you here. Everybody turn around and wave to that R2-D2 looking thing in the back of the room. That's a camera. And we are so happy, thrilled to be here tonight worshiping Shabbat. I'm glad that there is no water being in the midst of our tent. That's
Me
something we
too.
can be
I
thankful
too
for.
am glad of that.
Yes. I'm Rabbi Joe Black. To my left, to your right, is Cantor Elizabeth Sachs. To our far left is Ken Mervine, one of our wonderful musical directors. And we are thrilled to be here tonight. I want to invite the families of Tomer Meyer and Lulu Zeppelin to come on up and kindle the Shabbat lights. So Lulu and Tomer and your immediate family, come on up.
We may be missing the Zeppelins right
I
now.
don't see the Zeppelins.
All right, Tomer, that's 2 whole candles for you.
Can you do it? I could make some comment about they've been misled Zeppelin or something like that, but I won't do that. So,
They're going to make a dramatic entrance.
yes, there's a lot of Zeppelins. There are. Light it, Tomer, light them. You gotta push forward and then click. Push, then click. Push, then click. Push, then, there you go.
This is the final test to become a
Well,
bar mitzvah.
you have to learn
right
push
now.
and click. Yofi.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel
Mazal tov. You guys can go sit down. Tomer, you did an awesome job. We'll call you back later, but you have to smile once in the course of the service. Shabbat is the place where time and space meet. Without questioning how the beginning began or how the ending ends. Together, Shabbat is the place where song and silence meet, blessing each other with the gift of rest. Shabbat is the place where dreams and angels meet, yearning together for a world of peace. Shabbat is the place where holiness and eternity meet, praying together for the world to come.
Lechu ner
One thing I forgot to say is if anybody needs to use the facilities, the doors right over there in our drive-through, just go through the glass doors, you can use them. And also if there's a reason that we have to leave the tent, that's the way we go too. I was supposed to say that and I didn't, so I am now. So, we're not talking about leaving, we're talking about coming. We're talking about Lecha Dodi, welcoming Shabbat, welcoming the Shabbat bride. I literally I just flew in.
And boy, are your
my
arms
are
tired.
tired. From Aspen, where I did a beautiful, beautiful wedding on top of a mountain. And the setting was gorgeous. And, we stood there and we watched as the bride and groom walks down the aisle with such joy, with such love, with such hope. And that is what we get every Shabbat. When we welcome Shabbat, when we say, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, come, my beloved, to greet the Shabbat bride. Come, let us rejoice. And so we continue together with the words, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabla. Come, my beloved, to greet the Shabbat bride.
Turn back for Baruch Hu.
This is balance. The world is entirely consumed by darkness, then brimming with light. Together, the seasons approach one after the other, bring unbearable heat, bitter cold, and everything in between. Joy fades, loss makes space for growth, and balance is not a perfect blend of extremes. It is something that takes place inside a larger system. It is a perspective, an awareness that makes space for us to fully experience winter and then spring, light and then darkness, darkness and then light. Together, life of all worlds. Thank you for giving us the strength to allow our world, our heart, to be big enough for
it all.
Baruch Ata Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on. Love beyond all space and time. Your love enfolds your people, Israel. We receive it in your teaching, your gift of Torah, sacred obligations, discipline, and law together. So let us speak these teachings when we lie down and rise up and find joy forever in your Torah and mitzvot. There we go. They are the very essence of life, ours to ponder and study all our days. May we never lose or be unworthy of your love together. For you are blessed, the one who loves your people, Yisrael. Baruch Ata Adonai Ohev Amo, Yisrael.
Teach us how to live. Fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one. And we will know that you are one. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu,
B'vakasha l'shevet. Please be seated.
We chant together. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavcha hayom al levavecha veshinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha v'derech ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Amen.
Who is like you, who created heaven and earth from the Big Bang to the smallest subatomic particle, who set the planets in motion and brought light to their moons together? Who is like you, who painted the sky blue
and gave us the means to appreciate it, who rustled up the air we breathe and the earth we walk on, who gave us legs to stand on, hands to touch, a face to love?
Who is like you, making yourself present in our deepest conversations, giving us children to love and love us, parents, brothers, and sisters? Who is like
you, who has given us Torah to delve into and argue about, a history to become part of stories to tell and retell?
Who is like you, one and one only, indivisible, radiant and dark, near and far, inside and everywhere, invisible to some, visible to others, spectacular in both mystery and obviousness?
Who indeed is like you, who allows dissent and disbelief, even as you command us in so many ways, who has plotted our destiny, yet given us the freedom to choose.
Who to a rare few displays glory in a continuous array of light, to others in an array of sparks, to still others in one spark that illuminates an entire lifetime. Who is like you?
Whom we seek from birth to death, from whom we take life, to whom we give our life.
Thus it is said, Adonai redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than his own. Praised are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Baruch ata Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence our acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch ata Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, va'al kol amo Yisrael, va'al Yerushalayim. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu shomrenu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu shomrenu
Prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a ruined bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city. But prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, rebuild a weakened will. We rise now as we are able for the tefillah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor Ha'norah El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim Vekonei Hakol Vezocher Chasdei Avot Ve'imahot Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem Leman Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah Ata Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechaye HaKol Ata Rav Lehoshia Morid HaTal Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim Somech Noflim Verofech Cholim Umatir Asurim Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar Michamocha Bal Gevurot Umido Melach Melech Meimid Umechaye Umatzmiach Yeshua V'ne'emanat halachayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai Mechaye אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. So we're going to take a moment now before we go into our own personal prayers and think of members of our congregation, our community, our world who are in need of healing. And we're going to sing this beautiful Mishaberach, this prayer for healing. And if there are names in your hearts after I read the list of members of our congregation, our community, family, and friends, as we move from this side of our sanctuary, our tent of meeting, our Ohel Moed, to this, if there's a name that you want to say it out loud, say it silently, and all of us, as a community of worshipers, will ask for God's healing presence on their behalf. Pray together. Shabbat, we are mindful of Zachary Hoffman, David Karner, David Goldenberg, Stuart Myers, Catherine Plus, Jean Silber, Scott Englander, Stacy Hoffman, Corey Franklin, Brian John Miller, DMD, Phyllis Schulman, Eric Dellenbach, Becky Mitchell, Samuel Ryder, Jeff Karras, Hal Malin, Jim Estaby, James Tepper, Cheryl Lunning, Debbie Levy, Donald Gross, Christina Clark, Raymond Bell, Douglas Hamilton, Shanti Chazan, Deborah Alenikov, Alex Buznavetsky, Ellie Greenberg, Lori Goldman, Jamie Eidelberg, Larry Ambrose, Mike Kabuti, Laura Culver, Sylvia Goodman, Jerry Luckton, Elaine Wolf, Cindy Freeland, Josh Hepner, Jared Siegel, Ernie Stone, and Alan Davidson. Are there other names? Adonai Mekor HaRefuah. We praise you, Adonai, the source of healing.
Those
We take a few moments now as we move away from the words that others have written for us to find those prayers that are imprinted in our hearts as we look within. There to find God, and we pray in silence.
Create a pure heart within me, and let my soul wake up in your light. Open me to your presence, flood me with your Holy Spirit, and I will and sing out the power of your forgiveness, and I will teach your love to the lonely, and the lost will find their way
Shabbat Shalom. There is a trend on Facebook where people ask you to describe your job very boringly. So in my case, I talk into a microphone and put people to sleep would be one of the ways to. But there's also another one of describe your favorite movie in the most boring way possible. A guy comes to a town in Iowa to teach music and doesn't like pool. An ex-nun moved into a big house and teaches the children how to sing. 101 dogs with spots. A baby deer grows up. I like this one. A FedEx employee lives by himself on an island for several years. A furry, short guy gets a ring and tries to throw it away. That was The Hobbit, if you didn't get that one. That's enough. The book of D'varim that we begin this Shabbat is a series of sermons that detail Moses' final instructions to the Israelites as they prepare to enter into the Promised Land. And in the very first chapter that Lulu and Tomer will be teaching us and chanting tomorrow morning so beautifully, Moses recounts the journey of the Israelites as they prepare to enter into the land of Israel. But he does it in an interesting way. He does it not exactly as it's written in the text. He details the conquest and the turmoil, the rebellion and the punishment, but he filters the history of the people through the lens of his own recollection. And in describing the story of the spies who were sent out to reconnoiter the land of Canaan, the 10 who gave a faulty report, Moses shifts the focus away from God. God is not there at all. He puts it upon the people. In Deuteronomy 1:22, he says, "Then all of you came to me and said, 'Let us send notables ahead to reconnoiter the land for us and bring back word on the route. We shall follow the cities we shall come to.'" But in Numbers chapter 13, it was God who tells Moses to send the spies. It wasn't the people's initiative at all. Moses tells it in his own way. He mentions that Joshua and Caleb were the only ones allowed to enter into the land of Israel, and that the entire previous generation, himself included, would not get that privilege. But he fails, however, to say why Caleb and Joshua were given that honor. It was because of their loyalty to God. Moses, in essence, as he knows it's about the end of his life, he's removing much of God's presence from the narrative. And he's enhancing his own role in the unfolding of events. He's telling the story in a very different way. And the commentators spend a lot of time talking about, why does Moses do this? Is he angry? Is he frustrated? Is he trying to ensure his place in history? And I think it's much simpler. I think we tell stories that we know that'll make us feel the best. For example, in 20, 30, 40 years from now, how will our children, our grandchildren, and our great-grandchildren learn about the time when our society was shut down by a virus? What will we tell them? And how will our recollections be passed down? Like examples of our boring movie synopses, I could imagine we could find ways to describe the past 18 months. It was a period where many people learned how to bake bread. It was a time when we experienced a shortage of toilet paper. It was several months when children spent many months at home in front of their computer screens, or when masks became a fashion accessory. I like this one. A time when women stopped dyeing their hair and men grew their beards. I'm not sure that's true. It was a time when we wore shorts to work but got dressed up from our waists up. So history is based on perspectives and bias. Whoever writes the history controls the narrative. It's quite simple. The recent controversies around critical race theory, Confederate war statues, the names of neighborhoods, sports team names, how we understand crime, policing, healthcare, and even popular music all revolve around what and how we were taught, and the values and importance that society places on the commonly held beliefs that underpin our collective memory. About probably 25 years ago, maybe even 30 years ago, I was at a garage sale in southern Minnesota, and I found a 100-year-old junior high anthropology book from the early 1900s. It was kind of cool, so I bought it and I took it home. And I was appalled when I read how the standardized curriculum for that school district taught that Native Americans were savages, and that Africans and other indigenous populations around the world were to be pitied because they were not exposed to the superior resources and intelligence of Christian Europe. This was a textbook. The 19th century doctrine of manifest destiny, which held that America had a divine imperative to conquer and subdue the Native American populations of the West, may have succeeded in adding vast territories to our country, but it also came at a great price, resulting in genocide and horrific crimes against humanity. The current discussion and soul searching that our nation is experiencing as we come to grips with the reality of how white supremacy has become ingrained into the framework of every aspect of our nation is yet another example of the danger and prevalence of holding fast to beliefs and practices that were created to maintain power and excise our responsibilities for abuse, manipulation, and exploitation of people of color and minorities. What some might dismiss as cancel culture, others might perceive as justice. One person's political correctness is another's desire to set the record straight and gain entrance into doors that were closed to people of their color, creed, and orientation or beliefs for centuries. And how we tell our stories reflects not only on who we have been in the past, but who we strive to be in the future. Now, selective memory is normal. Moses had it, we all had it. And most of the time, they're harmless, but sometimes they can be deadly. Tonight, Jews around the world, as we enter into the Hebrew month of Av, and tonight is Erev Tisha B'Av, the eve of the 9th day of Av, the day that both temples were destroyed, and many other tragedies befell the Jewish people. In 1096, the beginning of the very first crusade, killing 10,000 Jews in its first month and destroying Jewish communities in France and the Rhineland. In 1492, the Jews were expelled from Spain with the beginning of the Inquisition on Tisha B'Av. The day that SS Commander Heinrich Himmler formally received approval from the Nazi Party for what has become known today as the final solution in 1941 was on Tisha B'Av, the 9th of Av. In 1942, the destruction of the Warsaw Ghetto took place on Tisha B'Av. The bombing of the Jewish Community Center in Buenos Aires in 1994 took place on Tisha B'Av. And for many of us, some of these dates are not familiar, but they have had huge and devastating consequences on the history of our people. So our task as Jews in this time of upheaval and national consciousness raising must be to remember, uncover, and tell truths, however painful they might be, and use them not to feel shame, but to build a better world. And that's what our tradition teaches that we must do. We who know the pain of being shut out, persecuted, and marginalized have both an opportunity and an obligation to help make the changes that are necessary to bring us to our promised land that Moses never got to. So in the future, the way that we tell our story will ultimately be a reflection of our values and how we were successful or unsuccessful in applying them to the way we see and experience the world around us. So on this Shabbat, this Erev Tisha B'Av, we pray that we may be granted the ability to rise above pressures to conform, contort, and convince ourselves that our narrow views of seeing the world are both our destiny and our due. May all of our actions represent the best that is within us. Shabbat Shalom.
We rise now as we are able, as we continue with Aleinu.
Our thoughts now turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and every nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. And as we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. On this Shabbat, we remember Benny Litvak and David Lustig and Sherwin Turner, who were taken from us this past week. We link with their names those who were taken from us in the previous 30 days: Officer Gordon Beasley, Sandra Cook, John Hurley, Betty Mendelson, and Arlene Robb. And we link with their names those whose yahrzeit, the anniversary of whose death occurs at this time: Bernice Bunny Abelson, Herman Ellenbogen Allen, Dorothy Robinson Atler, Michael Baum, Louis Berenstein, Thelma L. Berkowitz, Eva S. Bromberg, Evelyn D. Brown, Jeffrey Butler, Meyer Castle, Ida Mintz Cohen, Maddie Brooks Cohen, Aaron L. Cohen, Ann Dubin, Saul Ehrlich, Jean B. Ellenbogen, Bernie Feingold, Mela Beck Ferry, George Ferry, John S. Fine, Samuel Fisher, Samuel J. Frazen, Estelle Friedman, John Gilbert, Jeanette C. Ginsberg, Ben Golder, Seymour Goldstein, Joseph Goodman, Joseph Greenbaum, Ben Grimes, Minnie Hennock, Flora Anfenger Hornbein, Philip Horowitz, Rebecca Hurwitz, Patty Robinson Kaufman, Ruth Kolker, Milton Kuffler, Max Lackner, Richard Landsman, Dr. Martin E. Nowick, Abraham Chaim Obolsky, David Pollock, Philip Ratner, Albert Harold Reckler, Rose Richtel, Judge Charles Rosenbaum, Ruth Leibowitz Rothenberg, Lemon Sachs, Dr. Peter Schick, Cecil Arsef, Ida Shapiro, Donald M. Scher, Saul Silverman, Frank Silversmith, Nathan Smirnoff, Ephraim Sultanovich, Ben Spiegel, Edith Surrey, Anna Sussman, Victor Wiener, Margaret Ruth Apple Weissman, Max Wexler, Fred Witkoff, Anna N. Wolfson, and Eugenia S. Zinn. We remember 10 of the 420 precious souls from the community of Kolin, with whom our congregation is linked through our Kolin Chapel. Frantiska Eisnerova, Erwin Engel, Leo Engel, Otto Engel, Eva Englova, Olga Englova, Regina Englova, Pavel Fantel, Thomas Fantel, Marie Fantlova. Are there other names for whom Kaddish is being said on this Shabbat? At this time I ask, if you've lost a loved one in the past 30 days, to please rise as you are able. If you are still in the 1-year period, then 11-month period of mourning since the loss of a loved one, please rise now as you are able. If you are observing a yahrzeit, the anniversary of a death on this Shabbat, please rise now as you are able. And now in solidarity, let us all rise in and on behalf of those for whom there is no one to say Kaddish, rise physically or spiritually as we join together in ancient words. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemei rabba, bi'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon, uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kari v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevarach la'alam u'lalmei almaya, yit barach v'yishtabach v'yit pa'ar v'yit romam v'yit naseh, v'yit hadar v'yit aleh v'yit halal shmei dekudsha brichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shmaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. And may the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, Comfort all who are bereaved here among us, physically, online, wherever they may be, and let us all say Amen.
Shalom limroma, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'ilu. So Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I'm asking you to remain standing for just a moment as we go through a couple of quick announcements before we conclude with Kiddush and Motzi. So tomorrow, Shabbat continues.
Amazing.
Yes, it is amazing. It happens every week. Tomorrow at 9 a.m., we will be celebrating the bar mitzvah of Tomer. Wave hello. There you go. Right here in this tent. At 9:30, we will be doing Torah study in our finer chapel with me. At 11 o'clock, we will be doing the Shabbat community service in our finer chapel with me. And at 11:30, we will be celebrating the bat mitzvah of Lulu Zeppelin. It is a busy day here at Temple. Also at 4 o'clock, we will be doing our Young Family Shabbat out here in this tent into Havdalah, led by myself and Brad Cohen. Brad, wave in the back. He's over there. Our director of Youth and Family Engagement, I think.
Awesome director
for now. Anyway, title-wise, Brad is staying, but he has no choice. But it is a really fun thing to do, to come and the kids get to run around in the tent, and we'll sing some Shabbat songs and do Havdalah together. So if you would like to join us, please let Brad know. Actually, we have many families signed up already, but we're always happy to have more. There is a lot of programming really coming back to Temple. So please do pay attention to e-notes. Take a look at our website. We are growing and growing in our in-person experiences. And we will talk about this tomorrow. But because tomorrow is the 9th of Av, observed on Sunday, that means in the clergy world, how many weeks until Rosh Hashanah, Rabbi?
I have no idea.
Yes, you do. 7 weeks. 7 weeks to Rosh Hashanah is what happens after Tisha B'Av. So it's coming. You're going to see a lot of things about it. So we do hope that you will read everything. Call us, email us. If you have questions, we're here to help you. Now I would like to invite Tomer and Louise to come on up with me. And we are going to sing our Shabbat Kiddush. So Rabbi Black is going to hand you your Kiddush goblets filled with grape juice.
They are grape juice. Go stand over by the Cantor.
Come here. And smile. Here we go. Chat, shtaim, shalosh. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'charta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim ve'shabbat kodshecha, don't spill on me, be'ahava uvratzon hinechalta,
really high now,
super high. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat.
Clink glasses.
Clink. And drink.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov. And we are going to bless our challah. We have an individualized challah for each of our b'nai mitzvah. Here we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam.
Thank you.
Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Mazal tov to Lulu, mazal tov to Tomer. We will see you tomorrow. We conclude with Adon Olam. You guys can go take a seat with your family.
In E flat.
E flat.
Okay.
Just for fun. Here we go. Adon Olam, Hashem Malach, B'terem kol Yitzir Nivra, Le'ed Nasam B'chefto kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nivra.
Eloheinu v'Elohi kol dorotenu, our God and the God of every generations past, those yet to be. We come together on this Shabbat as we begin a new chapter of Torah, as we celebrate growth and simchas and joy, as we acknowledge that our history is ours to tell, and how we tell it can change the world for better or for good. It's up to us. It's in our hands. Bruchim hayinu b'voenu, bruchim nihiyeh b'tzeitenu. Blessed were we in coming here. Blessed may we be as we go forth for this time and always. Amen. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.